I've been invited here today to talk about posters, specifically the conservation and restoration thereof. But first I'd like to take a few minutes to explain why it is so important to preserve these historical artifacts. I can think of no other medium that provides such an immediate and emotional link to the history of our modern culture. The story of the poster chronicles the history of modern human endeavors throughout the 20th century. Whether its intentions are noble or nefarious, the poster embodies the concept of art with a purpose. Posters have been used to promote ideas that have transformed our society. They have advertised all things imaginable, from table salt to ocean liners and everything in between. Before television and radio advertising, posters beckoned to those on the streets with images of glamour. From luxury to necessity, posters are the printed icons of all our material wants and wishes. Whether it is war, transportation, product advertising, performance, or movies, posters span the world of possibility and visually narrate the history of the 20th century. Travel posters beckon to us with seductive images of exotic locations where our lives and our souls will surely find enrichment. Whether traveling on a boat, a train, or an airplane, all destinations become possible. Idyllic images of white sandy beaches to the highest mountaintops can elicit the childlike joy of infinite possibility from even the most jaded. These posters are a testament to the things that once inspired us to dream of a better life, and now, in posterity, they serve as a remembrance of the world as it once was. Posters also remind us of the struggles of the past. They have sounded the trumpets of war, and they have called us to arms. They have shown us powerful and terrifying images of conflict, and they have planted the seeds of political ideology. They are littered with the reminders of the political, philosophical, and religious differences that have led us to physical violence. They asked our young men to serve and our young women to nurse the injured. They implored those at home to support the troops, to make sacrifices, to plant victory gardens, and to conserve every resource. And now these old posters continue to serve as the reminder of what it was they fought for. Today, they continue to remind us of the ideals we held so important that we took up arms. Ideals worth killing for and worth dying for. Other posters appeal to our innocent and gullible nature as they made wild promises of health, beauty, and well-being thanks to the latest and the greatest in snake oils. Witch doctors and charlatans pitch the illusion of a magical cure for whatever ails you. Whether it be weight, warts, or illness, traveling salesmen's posters advertise everything from the cure for the common cold to remedies for lovesickness. Truth or fiction, it does not matter anymore. Their words now whisper at us from the images of a bygone age. Posters also entice us with an invitation to the cinema, where they promise an escape from reality and where we will witness wonders far beyond our own experience. Movie posters open the doors to realms of pure imagination, from the darkest depths of the human soul to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. In a world where the everyday existence is sometimes humdrum, these posters invited us to experience something extraordinary. Too often these films did not live up to the promises on their posters. In fact, one movie critic once quoted that they should find some way to punch sprocket holes in the poster and throw the film away. There have been more posters produced by far for the cinema around the world than for any other reason. And for many silent films that have long since perished, the posters are all that remain. But perhaps magic posters best exemplify the art of selling the audience on an illusion before they even walked in the door. In reality, oftentimes, just as in movie posters, the show may not have lived up to all of the poster's outlandish promises. From simple sleight of hand and card tricks, all the way to the most complicated and flamboyant acts of illusion, posters capture the essence of the performers for whom they advertise. Names such as Carter, George, Thurston, and Alexander are still recognized today primarily because of their enduring advertising campaigns. Magic posters are as varied as the performers themselves. They entice, frighten, and amaze us with the acts of each conjurer, and they offer the promise of an escape into a world where the impossible is within reach. Posters can dazzle us with bright colors and fanciful images. They can tug at our heartstrings and motivate us to lend a helping hand to those less fortunate. They put politicians in office, and they entice children to visit the happiest place on earth. These images represent what we have accomplished in the last century, both the negatives and the positives. They are at once art, advertisement, and artifact. When you look at an old poster, you see not only the hand of the artist, but the mind of the advertiser, the work of the master printers, the efforts of those who distributed them, and usually the labor and artisanship of a restorer. Posters embody the progress of technology combined with the ingenuity of the human imagination, and yet their greatest appeal is that they provide a window back to a simpler time. Posters have not only reflected our society, but have also shaped it. To understand and appreciate the history of the poster is to understand and appreciate the history of our modern existence. Never doubt that these are artifacts and worthy of preservation. The conservation of posters is a responsibility that we owe not only to ourselves for the enjoyment of the images and the profound enrichment they bring to our lives, but also to future generations for their edification and for their delight. It is our joy and our genuine pleasure, it is our honor to be able to work with these artifacts every day.